What you know about me? I seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? I done it all, just want it all. Oh, what you know about me? I seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? Oh, what you know about me? Oh, what you know about me?
Hey everybody, we are back. Welcome to another episode of More Than the Title. I'm your host as usual, Jarrett Thomas. I got my co-host to the side, actually beneath or whatever way you see it, my brother Chadeo, the CEO.
Young Pastel in the
Channel.
building. In the
He's
building. We in the building.
He's ready to
we
pause,
ready.
baby.
We ready.
Let's go, man. So just want to say before we begin, y'all, just thank you for everybody for the continued support. Thank you for the downloads. Thank you for the likes, the reshares, the retweets, all of that. We've been growing and glowing every week, and it's all because of you guys. So we really appreciate all the support and love, man. We wouldn't be here without you guys. And then also, let's give a shout out to our distribution partners. Shout out to the Live Podcast Network. Shout out to Angel and the entire team over there doing their thing. You know what I mean? Let's do that. Let's do that right there. And
listen, we're brought exclusive. Let them know we're brought to you exclusively by the Live Network. Exclusively. Don't leave that word out. It's important.
Very important word. We have to go through contracts because it's exclusive, baby. We rocking.
We signed on the dotted line.
That's it. We rocking and rolling, man. So shout out to Angel and the entire team. Shout out to everybody on the check-in right now. If you're with us right now, drop some comments. We're gonna be rocking with y'all. We got the support. You know, we got the links and going on. But we got a special guest right now, man. This dude right here. This is my guy right here. Man, he's been rocking with me since the beginning. So this brother is a business influencer, entrepreneur, and multimedia producer. He's currently the CEO of Beast Node Media and the creator of B2B system, where he applies B2B executives, opens doors, close deals, and create constant content with their own shows. So he helps with modern B2B social marketing, sales strategies, high efficiency media production and content creation systems, live streaming, podcasts, and business entertainment, and also has one of the best live stream shows I've ever seen produced. And this brother is the king of carousel. So I don't want anybody else dubbing that name, because when 3 years ago, when it wasn't popping, Trav was out here killing shit. So, you know, I want to give it up to him, man. So let's give a warm welcome from our guest, Travis Lachner, man. What's up, bro?
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. That is a welcome.
Welcome to the show. Yeah, man. Listen, we gotta roll out the red carpet. You know, we gotta make your intro special. You know what I mean? You gotta walk through that door with the light shining on you.
That's it, brother. But you've earned it, brother. That's the thing, man. You've put in the work, man, the grind and the consistency. So since I've been started for 3 years, brother, I think you've around the same time when I first started to see you, man. But let's start at the top, man, because for everybody who's just listening, and if this is your first time in the show, the whole premise of the show is talking about the journey, right? The lessons that we learned, right? Being entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, right? What are the difficult things we overcame to get to where we are and help us make the decisions we made to get here. So it's all about you, brother. So let's start from the beginning, man. Like, tell us about your upbringing and where your love for media came from, bro.
Oh man, it's been quite a journey with a few key pivots. The main one, the first chapter, I guess, first era, was growing up as a hockey player. Actually, I started.
There you go.
From age 4 to 24. Day and night, it was practice every day, games every weekend, travel and the camps in the summer. I had learned and developed this core habit for consistency, and just building that progress towards the dream. So as always, I was pursuing a very unrealistic avenue of I'm going to be a professional hockey player, and eventually.
But wait, why is that unrealistic though? Why would you consider that to be unrealistic?
You see the numbers on that one, and double down the statistics. Folks that are around like 5'7", 5'8", those statistics drastically drop.
Gotcha.
I rode my wave to like college hockey was the end of the line, but I was able to extract a ton of lessons as far as just my core personality, character development, kind of building that progress. So chapter 1 was in sort of building that foundation.
Yeah.
Chapter 2 was in music. I decided to replace that dream with another realistic one.
Hence the title, The Super Producer, under his name. Please pay attention to that, ladies and gentlemen. The super producer. Not a regular producer, but the super producer.
I had a kind of that calling, that internal feeling towards creation, but never really had the foundation. I didn't get piano lessons or anything growing up. So I had pursued 100% self-taught music production as an artist to learn the tech, the production, the software, the gear. And I'm still using the same mic that I bought in high school with my summer job money 15 years later.
There you go. Need that.
And,
Vintage
this era. It was back in you may remember a little thing called MySpace back in the day.
Shout out to Tom.
He was your first friend.
Yes, exactly. And I was a lot of people's friends on there. And what I was kind of riding the wave of this kind of emo scene that was very popular in that era. And I was producing songs in there, kind of putting out social media, putting songs out there, kind of playing all the games with MySpace bulletins. That was what it was before carousels and whatever. There's always like a trending format of things. So it was me learning at a very young age that there is a lot of power to this digital medium, this digital era. And started learning the foundation of everything, build a massive audience, self-produced album, everything was out there, and learned a very crucial lesson about owning your audience, because as many of you probably know right now, and many of the folks here, that no longer exists. So that whole world kind of disappeared from me in like about 6 months. That entire audience just disappeared, complete ghost town.
Message.
Own your content, own your IP, own your platforms. We on borrowed
It was
land.
an immediate lesson in kind of the power of this medium and digital social media, but also B, you better do it right next time. So that was a very crucial lesson that I still learned a bunch about, and took all of that to what eventually became my first company. So chapter 3, era 3, here we go.
Wait, before we go to chapter 3, Trav, let me ask you one question, bro.
Yeah, please
how long
do.
did it take? How long did it take you to grow? What did the following look like on MySpace? How long did it take you to grow that audience? And what was the biggest thing that happened? 'Cause I know you said you grew, you were selling music and stuff like that. What was the craziest thing that happened during that journey?
Oh my goodness. So that was about 2007, 2009-ish. So maybe about 2 or 3 years. And in that window, I grew to right at about like 40, 50K was the following on there. And the plays,
that's a good following.
One of the things there to think about is like the ratio of people that were online at that time was a heavy percentage of users. So what I had discovered and kind of using as a mechanism was they had players and charts that were basically sorted by genre and region. So if you were the top band or artist in a certain region, more people would start listening to you. So it was very clear to me that as long as you could start getting into the top of those, like it would be kind of the similar of like new and noteworthy in like Apple, but like the OG version of it. And that was where all the magic was. It was in being able to understand that specific platform and leveraging stuff like the MySpace bulletin, which was actually a share that would go to everybody in your network. Whereas everything now is algorithm based. It used to be if you had 20,000 followers and you posted something, it went to all 20,000 followers. So very easily connect the dots on go find the top artists, top bands, top influencers before that was even a thing, and hook them up. I would help them with their MySpace profile, do custom HTML codes. Sometimes I'd embed music players that may have had my songs in the playlist.
Oh my, that's awesome, baby. I love that.
It was just about leveraging the platforms, leveraging these opportunities, and it's still the same today when we get to LinkedIn. It's about supporting those other creators, and they've changed. The costume's gonna change, but the foundation is still there every single time. So there was some magic in the top 8 was very useful. The charts were very useful, and the bulletins were magical as well.
But you said some gold, bro. Oh, my fault, Chad. You got.
No. You know, I like to chime in from time to time before we get too far away from like something very important. The reason I stopped you when you said about the hockey thing was because you said something that's very important that a lot of people don't seem to understand, right? What you did was you conditioned yourself to work hard and you put yourself in a structured system, right? Every day, get up, work out, right? Play the game, practice, and things of that nature, right? Anybody that is a great in any type of sport, basketball, football, anybody, one of the things that you hear about on the regular is their work ethic. Their work ethic, right? Is the fact that they're willing to get up earlier and go to sleep later than everybody else. So that's why when you said that, and then you're like, my dreams of the NHL was cut short. I'm like, why? Because you were putting in the work. You understand what I'm saying? You were putting in the work, which clearly shows because you took that same lesson and you translated it, and you applied it to other parts of your life. So, it's that work ethic. It always comes back to that work ethic, right?
And to tie it back in, right? What is so important for everybody listening is the fact that you learn the platform. And people don't understand how critical that is, right? So it's good to have great content. It's good to have how you produce content, but it's built by a man. So there's some things that you can do to make it work in your favor. It's up to you to really figure that out and use that to your advantage, right? For you going on the bulletins, for you to identify, hey, if I'm on the top artist list in these specific regions, my viewership is going to increase exponentially, right? But you having the understanding to know that, because I remember in MySpace, man, I don't think nobody was thinking like that. I know I wasn't. I was just putting up my shit. I was like, yeah, got a couple hundred views, people dancing to my shit. I'm like, yeah, no money. I'm just happy.
Yeah.
It was crazy back then.
Because it's always they call it like I forget the word they call it, but it's like the newest thing, like a boom, right? Like a boom, right? So when MySpace came out, it was like a boom. There was nothing like MySpace. So it's not like you had something to transfer your knowledge for, okay, I know how to work that, now I know how to work this. You had to learn it from scratch. Everybody was learning it from scratch. It was innovative. It was one of a kind. You know what I mean? So, for you, like he said, for you to take the time and learn that and then to apply, the rules and learn the algorithm and stuff like that's crucial. That was crucial. And then MySpace was out and MySpace was out in the time when LimeWire was out. Do you remember LimeWire? So they were running, right?
Yeah.
So now we're talking about, spreading your music around. You said something funny. You would embed players with your music in the player, right? So that's what Soulja Boy did, how he got his song to pop. He did that in LimeWire, right? He would upload his song with the trending names of other songs and other genres. So when people think they're downloading one thing, they're downloading Crank That, right? So it's genius, man. It's genius, man. It's get your music out there, get your information out there, get your stuff out there any way possible, man. Any way possible.
That savviness, man. You need that nowadays. It's one thing to know, but to have that savviness to take it the extra mile, bro. So once you overtook, MySpace, right? And that, we all know what happened to the platform, the demise of that, right? So what was your next step, man? Because you're like, I have 50,000 followers, right? And I'm pretty sure you didn't have the contact information from them, right? So you're like started from scratch again. What was step one, bro?
Yeah, this is there's no Disney happy ending to that story, to be honest. It was very rough, very difficult to restart that from going again. So I did attempt to pursue a newer career in now what the trending opportunity was around EDM. EDM pop, Avicii, that whole era was still in its fresh stages, and I saw it coming like a decade ahead of time. So played my card, still tried to do the same thing, but there was not the same opportunity on any of those platforms. I didn't build a YouTube channel. I didn't have a Facebook page, didn't have a website. And it was all because of this very egotistical, honestly, probably more so an insecurity of not wanting to jump to a new platform and starting from zero and figuring it out. And that was really just, it's more so a mistake and a pivot and recognition. I still pursue music on the side as a passion, as a hobby. And it comes together in certain like creative ways, but it hasn't been never was the same. So it very much was my lesson, and that was the wave and probably the best shot of making it. But like we just did from the hockey and into the prior lessons, you take all of those lessons and those foundations into the next chapter and the next lane. So I had pursued and kind of recognized, like, wow, it is very difficult to make money as an artist, like, and as those dots, like, everybody tells you it for decades until you're like out having to pay rent and like under a lease. You're like, wow, this is starting to connect the dots. So pursued a real job, got my 9 to 5, was like, all right, this is what I'm supposed to do. And from the start, did not feel right. I was like, I would change this. I would do this better. I would like very much not compatible for a 9 to 5. So I was living in downtown Denver, very, very financially burdened, super broke, not in a great relationship, and really had to kind of pull myself out of this, and thankfully discovered the School of Greatness podcast. Could have been any podcast, personal, professional development, but I started hearing the right message at the right time about building your own business, creating a lifestyle of what kind of this 4-hour work week that was coming out with like Tim Ferriss and everything, of building your own lifestyle. And I was like, damn, that sounds like nice.
Yeah, that sounds like let me go pound this path. You know what I mean?
And saw the next opportunity start to open. This was right around 2014, 2015 era of what I call the green rush, when Colorado and Washington, everything were legalizing cannabis, and there was this frenzy of attention. He was calling it the wave earlier. There's a wave like of momentum to jump into.
That's for the green rush and for you, bro.
And
that's for the green rush.
Actual dispensaries and like cannabis products was very crowded, very saturated market. Everybody was looking at that. But what I was thinking of was, in the gold rush, who were the companies that did the best and actually survived? It was none of the ones that were actually mining or extracting golds. One of the companies that survived from that era is Levi's, because they were selling accessories to the trend, to the wave. They were selling jeans and pickaxes and tools. So that was the direction I would go, is how could I sell cannabis accessories? So I started combining that theory with what I was hearing on podcasts of, you got to do this drop shipping. It's like the best opportunity where you build a site and somebody else ships and manages the inventory to the customer. You don't have to hold any inventory or anything. So I had decided to use this was the next lane to start building and discover business and entrepreneurship. So I combined that business model with the opportunity that was available in the space around branding. All of the brands that existed out there were very much just like Cheech and Chong, like Rastaman, like very not like super cliche head shop like type of vibes. And there was nothing for just like responsible, respectable cannabis consumers that I knew, like doctors, lawyers, athletes, like, of all walks of life. So we built a brand specifically for that audience and started building content and media and all of that online. We would highlight these stories of these athletes or models or any people that like you wouldn't expect were actually like into cannabis, and it resonated very quickly. So now in this era, this was around 2014, 2015. So now the next platform was Tumblr. So the lesson in here was understanding and resonating where your audience is actually hanging out. I very easily, if I was just looking at blogs or following trends, would have tried to go to YouTube and got a channel shut down. Would have gone to Facebook, got a channel shut down. Would have gone to Instagram, would have got a channel shut down. But, however, in Tumblr at the time, it was a very strong counterculture for cannabis and just partying and just kind of this whole different vibe of people. And the social platform was in that same golden era of growth where you could actually post something and it went to everybody. So models, I took the lessons from before, started connecting with all of the influencers and top creators and curated cannabis pages and plugging our brand and our product and our company into all of those. So the end summary of that is within under 2 years, I was able to build that business from startup all the way up to acquisition. Wait.
Right. We got to slow down. We got to slow you down now, because you know that is amazing, because in business, most business models is go from startup, build your equity, and then eventually sell it off, have a bigger company or somebody acquire it from you, and then you either start over and re-replicate it or you go fishing. So for you to do that in 2 years, that's amazing. That's amazing, because most companies are in a startup phase still on their second year. You know what I mean? So that's amazing. That's definitely amazing.
But what also was really cool is that you said you curated the content and it wasn't original content. So which one do you think is a better avenue for somebody to grow a brand? Is it the curation or the net new original content? Which avenue would you advise someone to go to if they were working with a brand?
Context is crucial. In this scenario, my scenario today, very much personal brand, original content. In the scenario we were, which was very much lifestyle branding, we were kind of wanting to build that, I don't know what every other fashion brand does, build that lifestyle. It was 100 times easier to use. There are a million dudes and girls out there that just love taking cannabis pics and super nice nugs and smoke pictures and just like the lifestyle stuff. So in that specific scenario, it was way better to kind of look for those partnerships and that curated content, because that vibe already existed. Where I've transitioned today is much more my sort of system, my approach, my method, and people have to have faith in me and trust in my system, my face, framework, my voice, etc. Okay. So it's heavily dependent on the context, who you're trying to reach, and exactly what the impact of that content is supposed to be.
But it's situational though. Think about it. Exactly. Back when you were using somebody else's platform, technically, when you come off of MySpace, you lose all the followers, you lose your identity. Nobody knows you, right? So technically, you're starting from scratch again, right? So for you to use other content and things of that nature, you're putting your focus and your faith in what they've already created and just pushing that. But by the time you've created your own name and your own branding, now you can say, now we're original and you can put your faith in me. And people can say, we'll put our faith in you because you've already built and established yourself as an innovator and a leader in that market. So that makes sense.
Absolutely. I think the crucial thing is that you were building community before it was the buzzword. Yeah, that's the real thing, right? It's the community, and that's what brought the value that led it up to the acquisition, because that's what brands want, right? Brands want the lifestyle. Brands want the audience that is attracted to what they do, right? For the cannabis stuff, like you said, and you had a ton of content, people with nugs, people with this, so you can just plucking stuff, doing this, they're resharing it, and it's growing, and you're putting gasoline on the fire, bro, and then have it in 2 years, and then sell it, man. So kudos to you, bro. That's a real ass story, man. I love hearing shit like that, man.
That's authenticity at its finest. That's authenticity at its finest. The lifestyle is authenticity. When you get somebody to just take a picture of what they're doing on a regular basis, right? Hey, this is just me on a Thursday. This is just me on a Wednesday. And you're using that. That's showing the companies that they're connecting with you on a personal level, because they're saying you're not doing that for fame. You're not doing that to be, you know what I mean, to be seen or, to be spot worthy. You're just doing it because this is what I do with this product. This is how I use it, or this is how I wear it. You know what I mean? So it's just authenticity,
So we're talking about authenticity. If I was to smoke, would I get banned on LinkedIn? Do we know?
I don't think so.
If I was to light this up right now, would I get banned?
I would read the disclaimers first, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Listen. I have to step in and say, let the lawyers read the fine print first before we start doing shit. This is out the box digital, but we don't want to get too far out the box where we get shut out the room.
But that's what works. It's that level of authenticity that really effing
It
works.
is. I've seen it light up on LinkedIn. I'll actually share a story about one of our clients that we ran a show for. I was running a live stream show just like this for Shay Rowbottom, and she had a guest backstage. It was these two brothers. They're like they're known as like the Pop Brothers, they're super popular social media content creators like in the cannabis space. And I had him backstage in the studio exactly like I was a moment ago, and I could see him. He literally had a full bong like sitting on his lap, like ready to go, and I was like waiting to bring him on show. Like, does this guy know we're like a minute from airtime, like a minute away from airtime? I'm like waiting for this to be like off frame or out of frame, and it was polar opposite. He was waiting for his timing. That as soon as I pulled him on stage, he finished the biggest bong rip I've ever seen. And his first entry onto LinkedIn is a white cloud of smoke that takes over his whole camera. And I literally was thinking the same exact thing. Are we allowed to be doing this right now?
Let me play devil's advocate. I mean, technically, right? If let's just say smoke is smoke, right? You know, people put weed in cigarette roll-ups and put it in bongs and stuff. So technically, if you only see me smoking and you only see a white cloud, you don't know if it's hookah, you don't know if it's a vape. You know what I'm saying? Technically, you really don't know what it is. So I guess it could be some gray area, but you know, I would just want to find out first, because once again, we don't own the platform, right? Like a MySpace, right? Listen, we don't want to be put in LinkedIn jail.
What's wrong with this guy? Am I kidding me or what?
I'm doing it.
We don't want to be put in LinkedIn jail. We don't want to be put in LinkedIn jail. There's rules to this.
There's definitely rules. I appreciate everybody
rules to this. Right.
I'm trying, bro. Now we're on LinkedIn, bro. Let's talk about it, man. What was the transition like to LinkedIn, bro? Because I'll give you my quick one, bro. Like, I think you've seen me from day one, man. My whole thing was I was trying to generate sales on LinkedIn, right? I just used it as a way to like, shit, I'm tired of sending 1,000 effing emails out and this shit doesn't work. I get 2 emails. 998 people think I'm a jerk or an asshole. My messaging is wrong and it's messing up my brand, not the individual company brand, right? So like, what was your approach to LinkedIn? Were you already doing something? Were you already working on Beast Node? And like, when did you get hit with the LinkedIn bug? And what I call the LinkedIn bug is when you know what it is, man. When you make one post that you didn't even put any thought into, and now you got 80 or 100,000 views, and you're like, holy shit. And then it starts taking off. So what was that? Can you take us through your LinkedIn process, your journey, and some of the coolest things that happened, man?
Yes, to pivot out of that acquisition, I started pulling out of that, building it myself and taking those lessons and doing it in an agency context for other companies. They're like, clearly you're doing something right. Like, let's do this. So we started building it for bigger brands, and that's what kept me busy the next several years, was staying basically just a full spectrum creative director for a long while. And in that, just kind of was like, hey, we should earn the agency some business. And like, I think it was for like a year straight, Gary Vee, like, and all of his content was like, you need to be posting on LinkedIn for organic reach, like, or you're an idiot. Like,
you're dumb. I'm like, I'm not dumb. I'm not dumb, Gary.
Like, okay, sorry.
Not as easy as it sounds, man. It's not as easy as it sounds, man.
And I was just like, all right. We'll do this. Let's give it a shot. So it was right around end of 2019 and into 2020 of like, all right, let's do this. And started my very like fluffy LinkedIn influencer, like bro content type of stuff. Wasn't doing great, but I really connected the dots in all of the value here is in capturing the relationships. Their content and everything there is just a bridge to the relationship. So I was right out the gates. I was like, all right, let's build an event. Let's build like a LinkedIn local event, like type of thing. So I prepped and built this event for March of 2020.
That was the
Here we
first.
go. Here we go. There we go.
And booked the venue, booked the speakers, booked everything. And it was literally the same week as the downtown Denver like lockdown shutdown. So not even like couldn't even have like, well, we could try it. Like, nope, not happening at all. So what we did, instead of canceling it entirely, which would normally be my default move, we decided to pivot and switch it to virtual. And this was my first digital production. And I didn't know it at the time, but this was the first show that really pivoted the points of, I was like, all right, let's try this Zoom thing. Downloaded Zoom, got us set up and had digital speaker now. And set up a kind of sort of similar event. I was like, all right, just join it digitally. And I thought it was a mess. I thought it was a disaster. Like people were coming in sideways on their camera, like the audio, like and the muting and stuff. And the truest signal that there was an opportunity here was the feedback afterwards. I thought it was awful, and every person that was there thought it was amazing. And they were like, thank you so much for the opportunity to connect, to like learn, like actually hang out with people, see people, faces. And that was like the first signal. And then the full confirmation afterward was the speaker that we booked had booked 4 or 5 clients from that call and from that production.
Wow.
And I was like,
Wow.
wait.
You said 4 to 5. You said 4 to 5?
Yeah, it's like exactly. And I
5.
was like, wait a minute. And that was the signal that I thought of. Now, if we can leverage these productions, which is now a show. At the beginning, it was just a chaotic event. But if we can leverage these productions strategically, this is a very viable bridge to all of those business relationships that people are looking for online. So that started to really open the door for me as far as having a avenue to connect those prospects and clients and target audience all in somewhere, whether it's an event, a live stream, a podcast, a community. There's so many different ways that you can do it, but that was where all the value is. That was where all the magic was. So that's where all my focus and eyes started going, is how can we build more of these bridges and build them faster. I tried what I would call the old school solo content route, where you had to write out a script, turn on the lights, like camera set up on the tripod, do your 22 takes. If you're anything like me, I'm like, no, I'll do another one. No, I'll do another one. Then send it off to the editor, then get it back, send revisions. And I was like, it was very clear to me that was not sustainable, especially for business owners or anybody that doesn't enjoy doing that passionately. It will stir your soul up. So it very quickly became obvious to me that we needed a higher efficiency way to get to that content, get to that finish line. And what we started doing was double dipping, taking that original production, the show, the live stream, the podcast, and now that is all of your source footage for the rest of your content strategy. Now, without spending any extra time, you have hours of footage and relationship building shows that you've done that you can slice into content and use on TikTok and any platform, LinkedIn videos here.
And that's repurposing.
An efficient way for us to double dip and start systemizing and looping that all together and really just click on what is the most efficient and valuable way that we can connect those dots. So for me, it was very much seeing those organic opportunities and then having that content. You don't know the difference between every one of your posts feels the same, but some of them just pop out of nowhere. And for me, it used to be those little carousel sliders would just pop to like 100K views. And I'd be like, what just happened? I just do the same thing I do every single week. So it just was one of those things where as long as you can keep that consistent effort going, the consistency is the keystone. Everybody,
but the brilliance in the carousel. So for everybody listening, the brilliance of it, because this is how I met you, bro. So you'll use mainstream, whether it's a movie, game. I've seen Super Mario Brothers. I've seen Breaking Bad. I think he had The Wire up there. But then he'll take the lessons of that shit and then break it down into business and how you could apply it, or what's the real true lesson. That's essentially like what More Than a Title is like. Yo, what is the real value of this post? What is the value of this mainstream thing? So if you go on LinkedIn, you see a carousel with The Wire or Breaking Bad. You see, Heisenberg. I'm like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? And then you slide through, and it was just genius, bro. And it just made me stick to you. Because I knew every single week you was going to come up with some fire ass shit. And I was like, damn, I was looking at you like, what the hell is this? I didn't get it. 3 years later, now that's the most organic reach you can get on LinkedIn is through carousels, man. And you saw that shit super early. So shout out to you, bro.
That's called being an innovator, man.
That's it.
If you listen to a lot of the things he's been saying, already he's telling you without him realizing it, he's always kind of been ahead of his time. If
Absolutely.
you think about it, right? From the MySpace story to the Tumblr and things of that nature, he's already showing you that the way his brain is wired is, he's like, yo, okay, I see this, but I really see this, a mile down the road, right? 2 miles down the road, right? Where the average user is like, man, this shit got to be right here. You know what I'm saying?
To bring it back, though,
like,
hockey analogy, you skating where the puck's going to be. That's what he was doing. He's skating where the puck is going to be.
Right. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, to hear the story is definitely inspiring. You keep touching on it without realizing you keep touching on the fact of the consistency and the hard work, right? Getting somebody used to what your product is and continually to deliver it. You know what I mean? But I also have to say this, even though, as a creator, as a person that's done music last 20 years and things of that nature, just being a creative person, you can get stuck in your own mind. You can be like your biggest wall is yourself, right? And me and Jarrett used to talk about this a lot, right? Well, you would make music, right? So say you made a song today and you didn't release it. Then you made a song tomorrow, then you made a song the next day. By Friday, the 4th, 5th day, that 5th song is so much better than Monday's song. You don't even want to release Monday's song no more, right? So you're like, nah, we can't put that out because if we put this out, it's going to sound like we made that 8 years ago. Right? So, but to you, it's old, but to people that's never heard it before, it's brand new, right? It's brand new and it's still content, right? So you just got to put it out, and because different things resonate with different people. I think we can all agree to that, right? Different things resonate to different people, right? And what you were tapping into with when you did your show is you was like, well, to my understanding, it's not what I might have wanted it to be, but to the viewers and the people that attended it, they got a real value out of that. They got a real message out of that. So for them, it was everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Plus, though, timing is everything, too.
Yeah,
timing.
Absolutely.
The fact that you did it, like, you can't plan that any better, right? Like, and it was the same thing for me. Like, nobody knew what the hell was going to happen. I was in Manhattan in February. People were rocking masks. I'm like, I don't think okay, what the hell's that about?
Right.
And then shit just went, right? So when my shit started, I was 3 months into the personal branding journey on LinkedIn when that shit happened. Thank God I did, because I was able to close a huge deal that kept us and sustained us all the way into maybe June, because my pipeline disintegrated. It went from like 700 in pipeline to, Jarrett, we don't know what the hell's going to happen next week, bro. I might not have a job, nothing. Let me call you. And went to that. I was like, shit, what am I going to do? So you know what we did, bro? That's when I shifted and did the Rankable podcast. So I was like, yo, if people are in the house, you probably don't want to talk to me about business, but let me talk about your story right now since you're in the crib. Let's tell you some valuable things. And if you do open up, if you do have an opportunity, you're probably going to come to the guy that you just had a good time with, or the dude that you like and want to go get a beer with, right? And that's how it happened. People just started throwing me bones, man. And we ended up closing like $2 million from the agency just from that. So I can imagine what you did, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's it, bro. Just being this. So I can imagine, bro. So what is, from a business perspective, what kind of impact did it have on the business for you, bro? Starting from March, leading up to now.
It is literally the seed of existence for the business that I run today. Without that moment, it literally would not exist. This was not on my agenda or game plan at the beginning of 2020. But avenue and the opportunity was really, it was just too hard to ignore. I have built other businesses where I thought I had the perfect idea and the perfect timing and the perfect brand, and tried to jump into stuff like blockchain and crypto at where the timing was right, but the market fit wasn't there.
Yeah.
And this was the first time that the opposite was happening. The market fit was there and people were asking for it before, like, I didn't have the website up, didn't have a logo, didn't have a team ready. I just started producing those shows. And within the first 10 episodes, started closing my own business. Then it snowballed into others. I started producing live shows for free for big influencers on LinkedIn. And then those converted into paid clients of that. So it started to kind of snowball in recognizing those opportunities, but none of it was in like the perfect business plan that I had prepped and set out at the beginning of 2020. And we've shifted our offer every single year. We've tweaked and optimized a little bit more for it to be hyper specific. And it's taken me a lot of, I guess, courage to do that, because I'm very much like, I just want to do everything, do all of the things. And we've had to eliminate about 99% of the market to focus in on this very, very niche 1%. But for those that do run a high ticket service with low volume and need to build those relationships, it's a golden ticket. And they're like, and they're like, oh my God. So it's been a very difficult challenge in everything that you have to say no to and turn down, to really focus on, this is the one thing we do and we're the best in the world at it.
Drop a bomb. You got
I know. I can't even get to the damn thing.
Oh, you ain't ready right now.
I'm looping this shit.
Listen, that you know, to be able to say that with confidence and say, like, not only this is what we do, but we're the best at it.
I felt that, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I felt that. No, for real.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I just want to clap my hands for you and say congratulations to you, because this world is competitive in any avenue, in any venue you want to go to, because it's just so many people in the world, and there's so many creative people out there, and there's so many people that are just dying to try to make something of themselves and monetize on their ideas and things of that nature. This world can be super competitive. So to be able to raise through the ranks to not the top of the crest of the hill, but sit on top of the hill, say, nah, listen, ain't nobody above me. You know what I mean? Congratulations to you. Let me ask you a question. So, you spoke about earlier, the not being the right time and, the right fit and the right time, right? So when did you decide, when you did these other ideas, right? Obviously you invest and you have to give it a certain amount of time and investment to see if something's gonna work, right? When did you decide these other ideas wasn't what you needed to do and pull the plug? Like, you know what I mean? Like, at what point, how much resources, and you know what I'm saying? At what point did you say, okay, listen, we're gonna call this a loss, and that's it? You know what I mean? And then not only that, but sidebar to that is, and how did that make you feel? Did that discourage you moving forward with the other ideas? Because taking a loss can definitely impact the way you feel on now, because you're an entrepreneur, right? You're betting on yourself, right? So when you put something in one avenue, it fails. How enthusiastic are you now to take whatever resources you have left and say, I'm gonna do it all over again, knowing I could lose this and be out on my ass? How enthusiastic?
If I raise up, gonna be trouble.
Like, you know what I mean?
Podding. That boy's podding right now.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, because being an entrepreneur is tough, man, and taking those kind of losses affect you not only financially, but your mental capacity, your mental state.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel when you was taking those losses?
No, that being able to live in that conflict is probably your signal of whether you can be an entrepreneur or not. I got very lucky in hindsight, out of the kind of like business statistics of like, usually we have 1 out of 10 like succeed or go on to acquisition. I snagged my 1 out of 10 pretty quick. So I rolled into that next phase of my life with way too much confidence that whatever I built or touched or did next was going to be awesome. And that was when I spent months on the logo and the brand name and the domain name and comparing them and the building a course and hours and hours of video content. I had this genius idea of building a education platform for this new age of finance, of cryptocurrency, decentralized finance, NFTs before they were super trendy, for people to basically understand what the hell is this, and charge people for it. That was the that last piece, because in the market there are hundreds of people doing that are getting paid, but by sending you somewhere else, sending you to Coinbase or sending you to this. So I wanted to have an objective, neutral, unbiased, this is how you get involved in this Web3 momentum. And it was just the wrong market fit. If there is, and I spent hundreds and hundreds of hours in producing content, the site, the business, and I should have done the opposite of getting it started. So the signals that I saw, it's probably very difficult to do because you're in it so deep. You want it to work, you want it to thrive, you want it to survive. But there is no answer. Or if there is an answer to that, I do not have it. And we need to explore what that answer is, because it could save millions of dollars, thousands of hours. And it's, I think, really having a pulse of that market fit before anything else. It's so easy to get excited about the brand and the sexy logo and the website. But if there's not a core business of problem and solution that people actually freaking want or need, the rest is useless. It is useless. At most, maybe you can be like one of these startups that can look great and polish their suit and everything and collected 2 or 3 rounds of investment. But if there's still not a core product and solution that people need, it's just going to burn and burn and burn.
There it is right there. That's it right there. That's it. No, that's it right. That's the answer. No, that's the answer. That's the answer right there, you know.
I love that, bro. So I also want to talk to you too, bro, about because they just dropped the what's the name. So for those listening, they just dropped the LinkedIn top influencer list. I don't know if I told you about that, Chad. So this company, I forgot what it's called, Falcon or Falcon, something like that.
I just know I'm not on it. I just know I'm not on it.
I'm trying to get them, man. We going in next year, bro. We getting them, bro.
I know I'm not on it.
Travis, one of the people, one of the influencers on it. So first of all, congrats to you, bro, for being recognized for your consistency and your value, bro. And just curious, like, what do you think about that? Because the reason why I want to ask what you think about it, right? Because I think I like those lists and things like that, but it's superficial, and those type of things can actually discourage some creators, man. Like, say for instance, if I'm doing 1,000 posts a goddamn day, like somebody like Alex Sharon, ABS, bro, he's not on that list, but it's not going to stop him. You know what I'm trying to say?
What's the metrics though? Like, I mean, when they come out with these lists, right? A lot of these lists are subjective to, I guess, whatever group of people that they have that vote on who gets to be on it. Do you know the actual metrics that they use to judge who gets to be on it or not? Like, what does it go by? Does it go by followers or reach?
They probably take that into account. But what I'm thinking, if I'm a SaaS platform, right, that's trying to get people to know about my technology, if I put the top 200 people like Justin Walsh, all these other people on a list, their followers are going to come to my website. And out of those followers, somebody's going to check to see what the hell I do. And out of that, I'm pretty sure they have a decent conversion rate from that. I would bet the house that's probably one of their best campaigns that they do. I would bet the house. You know what I'm saying? So it is a business play, but it also gives recognition to the creators, right? So I would love to talk about the list specifically. And also, what do you think about some things that the creator economy on LinkedIn, bro? Like, how are we able to monetize content on LinkedIn? Like, could you just break it down to other people? Because I get asked this a ton. They're like, Jarrett, how the hell are you monetizing? How are you doing it? And unfortunately for right now, you have to monetize off platform. And that's the hardest thing to do for some people. You know what I mean? So if you could talk about that, bro, as well as the list, we'd love to hear your opinion.
Yeah, no, these are very good marketing PR things. That's kind of the category I see it in. Very difficult to attribute what is truly valid. They do share the metrics they use and how it was compiled and everything, but Jarrett has nailed it in 99% of the cases. It is a ploy for the actual producer of that list. So it's one of those little back and forth type of things. It is value. It's not worth like saying like, oh, those are nothing, like people throwing their Grammys away and stuff. Like it's not like that level. But like every single award, there's a biased memechanism behind the doors.
Absolutely. So I mean, I guess you can use it for bragging rights, right?
We'll share it. Yeah, is here in the audience. We'll add it to our PR list of
right, exactly. Bragging rights. That's what I said. It's bragging rights.
It makes sense. Yeah.
But I wouldn't ever strive for that to be a goal or a signal that you've made it. It's back to the same conversation we started this with. Same thing in hockey. It didn't matter which team. I mean, well, it did matter which team I made. You always want to make the best team, but you can't judge your whole identity and value on if you made it to this level or this team. The simplest way is your creation, your journey. And am I doing a little bit better than I was last week? Is a way easier equation to stick with consistent creation over and over. So those really, I guess, come to fruition. And yes, it's great to be recognized and appreciated. But if you're not doing it for yourself and for the creating or for the just helping people online, like it's not gonna sustain at all.
That's key. That's key, bro. And then what do you think about the monetization aspect?
So yeah, monetization is a whole new, this is a really interesting thing I've been exploring as a creator, kind of coming from this very old school mentality of as an artist, the only way you can monetize is through selling your music. And that used to be the first thing you had to see. And it was like, oh, hell no. You can sell merch, tickets, community partnerships, VIP signings, like, whoa, there's all kinds of things. So creators today are very much in that first stage of where musicians were like, well, what are we going to do if we can't sell our CDs? And you're like, well, what are we going to do without YouTube ads and Google monetization? Skip them. You can be a creator and monetize in completely different lanes. So the 3 lanes you have as a creator to monetize in are through the content directly, where you create the content, somebody else puts an ad on it, boom, they pay you per view or whatever. Traditional monetization. That is very difficult to do, and you don't see any ROI till way down the road. So that's what most people focus on, and they miss the other 2 buckets that have way more gold in them. Bucket 2 is having a production or your creation, your series, bankrolled or sponsored by a single company or by a partner that has the same interests or the same audience. So this is the best way that you can monetize from day one without sacrificing the messaging or like playing the reach game. Because if you're in lane A, that first lane, you just start chasing the dragon of, our last video got 1,500 views, so now we need 2,500, and then we need 5,000, then we need 10,000, then we need 1 million, and then you're a YouTuber posting about like makeup and beauty products, and like you started and you're like, well, we got 2 million views on our last video. And you see it with some of those channels that if that's your only avenue, you really pigeonhole and like kind of give away the reins to the highest bidder. So lane B lets you build a production, build that show or that series, but find a company that is willing to bankroll that production. So that would be a partner that has the same audience. So if I wanted to build, I did this with Restream. I was building a show for how people can learn how to live stream, become a producer, and just join that journey. And instead of me just doing it and hoping like, boy, I hope I make some, they got like 40 views, 50 views per episode. You're not going to get pennies on the dollar for like advertising that. But Restream is a very viable company to have an audience of people that want to learn live streaming. So they were very excited, very happy to sponsor and basically bankroll the entire show. I got to create content for free, basically, or at neutral cost for a full year. And it creates a nice symbiotic win-win scenario. So look for that lane 2 where you can bankroll a production with a partner that is aligned. And then lane 3, this is where a lot of business owners and myself are going, is simply using the content as a bridge to an existing offer or an existing product. It is so much more valuable to focus on your own service, your own product that you can bring people to, instead of just sending people to somewhere else, which is basically the advertising strategy. So that lane 3, obviously you need to have a business, an offer, a product, a program, a course, something to send people to. But when it's something you own, that is technically the most profitable, and you own all of the assets in that bucket.
There you go.
Goodness, bro.
Message.
Oh, man. Message. Both of them. You need both, baby, because that answer was damn.
There it is.
That you know we clipping that right up. We clipping the hell out of that. Bro, but that's the crazy part, because like you nailed it, bro. But we're like in the early stages of like the early days of streaming, right? What I don't like about it, right, is the numbers they put on it. For instance, right, on TikTok, for every 100,000 views you receive, you get $3. Were you familiar with that? That's a real thing.
No, I was familiar with the YouTube numbers, which I already thought were embarrassing. It just got amplified to a whole nother level. So
$3.
This only reinforces.
Right. But so my question to that though is, has it?
Crazy.
Wait, but let me ask you. And again, because I don't know. Has that changed though, right? Was the original number, because remember, platforms develop like everything else, right? So back in the day when there wasn't videos that would reach 1 million, right, and stuff like that, then the guys that would get those kind of numbers, did they receive a bigger monetary value? Once the market got flooded, now, let's say you can pay somebody, let's just say $100, right, per 1,000 views, right? Because it's only 3 guys you're paying. But then when there's 300 guys you're paying, can you support that? Then it's 3,000. Then it's 30,000. You understand? Like he said, there's guys that are on YouTube doing makeup tutorials, 1 million views. Guys that are comedians, 1 million views. So now you have so many people in so many different areas flooding this medium, getting these kind of numbers. Is it sustainable to be able to sustain the medium and pay out these high values? I don't know. I don't think it is. I think that's why the number is what it is, because they want to give you something, but I mean, they got to protect their bottom line, right?
Yeah, they're still giving pennies on the dollar, regardless. Okay. Do you know what advertising budget looks like for Google ads or just?
Oh
for
no,
YouTube
I know
alone?
that. I know, but see, advertising
ridiculous.
is different. No, I know. Yeah, that I understand.
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
saying.
like, so they're getting it. Like,
right.
So let's talk about LinkedIn for a second. Like, put it in the context of LinkedIn, right? Without guys like Trav, myself, JP, Ross, Morgan Ingram, all those people, like during that pandemic, I'm pretty sure their market share shot the F up. And you know it too, Trav, right? Like, let's be real. Our numbers, we were bringing in so many people, and people like me and Trav, we were actually getting people on. Like, yo, this is what you do to get 100K views. Yo, do this. Get on your personal branding. I just closed a $400,000 deal. Get in. Why the hell you not on it? And then now more people. So when we first started, it was only 2% of people posting. Right now, they're up towards 5, 6, 7%. Right?
Wow.
So now, if that's the case, what does that do for the market share? And why aren't the creators able to monetize directly on the platform like we should be able to? Like, if you get 1,000 subscribers on TikTok, you can get the $3. I can't monetize shit on this live stream, and we maybe have 5, 10, 15, 20 people on this shit.
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this now. Is it based on the fact that most of these streaming platforms were free, right? When you signed up, it was free. You didn't sign a contract saying, if I do well, then I make money from it, right? It was free. Technically, you're benefiting from them investing millions of dollars into creating this technology for you to be able to share your content on for free. Technically, right? Because I've never known YouTube to charge, and I've never known LinkedIn or Facebook or anything to charge, right? I think some of them was going to come out with some type of paid subscription, but I'm just saying, think about it. Somebody had to be the Travis, to be miles ahead and think of the engine and come up with the money and come up with all of these things to even develop this system for you to be able to upload your content and then still be miles ahead and say, well, this system is good for 100. Now this thing done blow up. We got 100,000. Now we got 1 million. Now we got 10 million. We have to now keep, revamping this thing so it can support all of these people without flaw, because God forbid, right? You load a YouTube video up and or LinkedIn, right? You put something up and it's a flaw. Then you cursing everybody out. Yo, my video poor. What y'all doing over there? You see what I'm saying? So I'm just playing devil's advocate, trying to say, like, I understand, people want to monetize off it, but these are the free platforms and free services that took millions of dollars, and somebody risking it all to develop these things for us to have it for free. I just think it's a different conversation that needs to be had, or maybe they need to start generating something like a creator post or a creator profile, where when you sign up for one of these things, it's now a contract between you and them, where you can say, okay, if I bring in these kind of numbers, then you can monetize off of it. I think it's a conversation that needs to be had. Yeah, but I think it's a conversation that needs to be had. You know why? Because guys like you and guys like Travis and guys like Shaman, all these people that are bringing in all these kind of numbers and sending the market share up, without you guys, their market share drops, right? So you have the power and the leverage to say, hey, we want to come to the table and we want to negotiate terms.
That's it. Like Bree just said in the chat, she said they are making billions off of our original content. They can have the best platform, the best algorithm, the best engine in the world. If nobody comes to it, it means shit.
No, absolutely. But think about it. Look at Instagram and Facebook. When you upload a picture, you know what they say? Anything you upload now becomes is our property now. You know that, right? When you upload anything to these platforms, when you upload anything to these platforms, even though it was your original content, technically it's now their property, and they can redistribute it, clip it up, and do whatever they want with it, and for free, because you agreed to that. So that's what I'm saying. I just think it's a conversation that needs to be had, and I think that the influence. Let's just put it out here. I don't want to be long-winded, but the wheels is turning. Let's just say you use their system against them. Let's say the top 20 influencers on that list turned around and said, now that you've recognized us as the top 20 influencers, guess what? Now we want to come to the table and we want to talk monetization. You know what I'm saying? We want to monetize off of this thing. You see, now it's a different story, and you can't say that we're nobodies now, because you yourself listed us as the top 20 influencers on your entire platform of 100 million. Now we want to have a conversation.
But Trav, you'll know this, right? One of the top influencers in the world, Justin Welsh. You think he gives a shit about monetizing on LinkedIn? He's monetizing off of courses and everything else that he's doing, right? And by the way, but that's just what it is. So it's those mid-tiers, those micro influencers, you know what I'm saying? That are just building up their thing. What do they get, bro? And I got to do a shameless plug. We have merch. We've got courses. We got everything. So please, if y'all want to support, baby, please. I'm trying to make some money off the content. I'm trying to monetize. If you like shows like this, I might not be back next week. So please support the link. Please support.
Love it. No, I think you've really cracked open a key piece in these platforms. On a macro level, everything we've been talking about has been single platform. Zooming out one more level, these platforms are competing for those creators, that attention.
Right.
So what we're seeing right now, when I was mentioning those phases, is in most cases, it's kind of each social media platform itself is its own market of attention, supply, and demand.
Absolutely.
And if they have a ton of viewers, ton of people with eyeballs on there, the demand for creators kicks up way higher, and vice versa. If there's way more creators and not enough viewers, that's when people are all like, oh, organic reach is down, what's going on, oh my god, wow. It's numbers, it's science. And these platforms, they essentially they have very clear metrics on that supply and demand curve, so they adjust their rates and their programs and what they do pay creators in that exact context. So if they need more creators, you'll see YouTube crank their ad share to 60-40 or 70-30, and they start competing with one another. And with live streaming, it got even crazier because you can post a single video 10 different places. You can't live stream to a bunch of, they don't want you to stream to a bunch of different places at once. So when Twitch and Mixer, which was Microsoft's attempt at streaming, that was a quick one. They're literally getting that list of top 20 that you're talking about. They're getting them under contract of this is the only platform you can stream on all year. So they are thinking of it in a competitive way, but what you'll see is it's in a maturity phase that at the beginning stage, they need way more creators. So it is way more lucrative with advertising and way more lucrative with organic reach. This is the Goldilocks, like the golden zone that you want to hit on MySpace, on Tumblr, on IG. There's always like a golden era where reach is in their growth stage is just irrational. And eventually they start dialing it down once they pull all those creators in. And now they have a business model.
Let me jump in real quick. Just looking at some of the comments, like Andrew said, I pay for LinkedIn, right? I pay for LinkedIn, and Dusty Rose said I pay for LinkedIn also. So you see, that's what I'm talking about. So there's a differentiation. Yeah, there's a differentiation from free people, free clients, free profiles, and paid ones. You see what I'm saying? So now, again, they're making more money from these people that are paying for these premium packages. Are the creators and the content creators that are high up on this level, are they getting a piece from that? Are they getting a piece from that?
No,
because the people that pay might not have never paid unless that content was there.
But that's the point, bro. So I don't get shit out of LinkedIn Premium, but being able to see people who view my profile. That's the only value I get out of that shit. I'm not paying $70 for that shit. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. Connect with me, D. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. It's $70 a lot. Are we putting on a company card or something? I don't know. No, but real talk, man. I just want to say, I know I didn't realize it was like an hour and some change, bro. But I just want to say, man, yo, Trav, man, I really appreciate you, man. Your your answers, bro, were so spot on. I learned a ton from you just now, brother. I'm sure everybody in the check-in, learned a lot. And first of all, I also shout out to everybody on the check-in. I can only see the LinkedIn. So Andrew, Gabe, Bree, Dusty, Gabe, wait for somebody else. Anybody else that see? Sorry for Facebook, I can't see the comments, but I'll see it afterward. I'll be sure to engage with you, man. But Trav, thank you for the love, man. Thank you for being a part of my journey. It's been an honor to be a part of yours, brother, and see your ascent, man. Because little do you know, you inspired myself, brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was people like you, JP, in my early days, man. And I'm like, man, I got to do this shit. I got to step it up, man. I got into my storytelling. I started being my authentic self, man. And I love how all of us have our own lane. And we all rock out and support each other, bro. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. For real.
I need a message. I need a message.
Yeah.
So
Message.
I need a message. What would you say to the next up and coming you, the 15-year-old, the 16-year-old, techie or semi-genius that has his mind just racing? What advice would you give the youth? Because we have to give back here, right? What advice would you give somebody that's not you yet, right? Remember how you was in your younger self, right? What would you give the next younger version of yourself in form of advice as far as like how to handle these new platforms and how to go about being an entrepreneur?
I think it's around embracing the journey. Everything you've ever wanted is sitting right on the other side of your comfort zone. That is where all the magic is right on the other side.
I'm clipping that right there. Keep going, but I'm clipping that right there. I love that. I love that. That was powerful. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, bro, but that was powerful right there.
I felt
Yeah.
that. Now, dude, that's a drop the mic
Oh, that
moment.
was it? Oh, that was it.
That's
Drop the
drop the
mic.
mic
Oh, he
moment.
dropped the
That's a
mic. Oh, that's a drop the mic. No, that was it. No, that was it. That was, yeah, that was dope. That was dope, man.
Oh, yeah, real talk, man. So thanks, Trav. Like real talk, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you once again. Thank you to everybody in the comments. Thank you to everybody on YouTube, man. Chad, man, you already know we're gonna rock out. And next week, we've got a crazy episode. We got AD Dolphin, the CEO of D Herbs, man. When I say this episode is gonna be something different, man.
I'm excited.
It's crazy, man. But thank you guys, man. Y'all make the show. Please support, man. Thank you for the continued support. Trav, you got an open invite whenever you want, bro. And when you come to New York City, man, we're gonna take it offline and we're gonna do a green rush. You know the vibes.
just hold on, just so you know, Trav, I play ice hockey a little myself. I got hockey blades. You know, we could get on. You know, my name is Chad, so you know, don't let the shades fool you, baby. I got the footwork. You know, I might not be as good as you, but we could definitely get on the ice and do something. You come to New York, baby, I got them ready for you.
What's wrong with this guy? Am I kidding me or what?
So down.
What is wrong with you?
Oh, man.
I got more than the title. Hockey jerseys on the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely coming with the hat. We've had all that, y'all, branding everything.
Yeah.
But y'all, real talk, man.
Yeah.
Thanks again for the love, everybody. We're gonna close it out, man. Trav, much love as always, man. And we see you guys next week for another episode of More Than the Title. Y'all appreciate the love.
What you know about me? Seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me?